Welcome to the Limitless Podcast. The Limitless Podcast is centered around exactly that, being limitless. Hunting, fishing, fitness, nutrition, adventure, disabilities. What may be covered during the Limitless Podcast will be, well, limitless. Stay tuned for this episode of the Limitless Podcast.
All right, you guys ready? Did you got it all out of your system?
Chris, why are you looking at me?
Because that's where everybody needs to be looking.
I didn't start the last question.
So you don't have it out of your system yet. Are you done?
For now.
For now. Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Limitless Podcast, Lampasas, Texas, October 2024. A3G Initiative, annual whitetail hunt. We've been here for several days. I am in the mighty presence of, I'm going to start on the far end of the couch. We have one of the nonprofit's board members, Michael Sims, that's with one M by the way. Retired Navy, proud. Finest since 1812.
Fingers away, baby.
F to the phone.
To the phone.
Cheers.
To the phone.
Then we have another board member here, the hunt coordinator, loose term, Christopher Dunlap, retired Army. And then, and of course, the host, and I am a founder and president of the A3G Initiative, retired Navy, world's finest since 1812.
1812.
And then sitting here with us on the couch is our recipient for this year, volunteer firefighter. He is a master of words, substitute teacher, volunteers with the Shriners, has a fire tower climbing initiative, spends a tremendous amount of time in the outdoors. It's not the Boy Scouts, it is Troop Life. Trail Life. Yep. He is a Trail Life troop leader and an all-around incredible, stellar, faithful human being.
Hear, hear.
And that is Dustin Pruett.
Hello, everybody.
We have had a great couple of days. A lot of laughing, a lot of eating, a lot of hunting. We've had some heartbreaks. We've had a lot of lessons learned. We have shared some great fellowship together.
We have overcome some obstacles.
Yes, we have.
That started when you arrived.
And
Oh man.
we've shot our bows. We've seen some beautiful sunrises. We've seen some beautiful sunsets. But we've done podcasts. It's kind of hard because do you want to go all the way back to the beginning of the year? But we've talked about that on other podcasts. Listeners may not have heard that podcast, but I don't know if we necessarily want to
summarize. It gives them a reason to go back and listen.
And
they should have been listening.
right?
There you go.
Yeah, they should tune in.
Yeah.
Get those listener codes.
Subscribe.
You're not going to get podcast sponsor listener codes in this episode. So why? Because I don't have my little cheat sheet with me.
And you always forget somebody.
Well, I'm going to run through them. I'm just not going to run off listener codes. So, and that's a shame because we do have a new sponsor that I'm going to highlight in this episode. But we have On Point Adventure Foods is one of our sponsors. You can get a 10% discount at On Point. Any order online, but you have to listen to a previous episode to get that listener code. It's something like Be Limitless 10 maybe. You also have Hunting Day Coffee. They are a major sponsor for the show, love their brew, and you get a 10% order on any order on their website. Be Limitless 10 is something like that. And then we have Vortex Optics. Vortex Optics is the weird one that I won't even be able to say it's something like this. Any Vortex product on eurooptics.com, 25% off of that order. But again, you really need to listen to previous episodes to hear me rattle off that code, because it's VTM-ELX 572 25%. It's nothing like that, but it's like that. So we have that. We have
Wilderness Athlete.
Wilderness Athlete, yep. So 20% off Wilderness Athlete on their website. Not anything on their website, anything that is an actual Wilderness Athlete product, and we have consumed our fair share of Wilderness Athlete hydration over the last 4 days.
In the hot Texas sun.
It has been hot. So that's 20% off any order of Wilderness Athlete products on their website. We have Phelps Game Calls. That is 20% off one order. It's not one item, but one order, so spend that wisely. But that's something like Be Limitless 20. But you really should listen to a previous episode to verify that. And then we have the Love Sauce Hot Sauce. That's 10% off any $12 or more order on the Love Sauce website. They are a small batch hot boutique sauce. It's really, really good, but it does have a powerful kick, but it's bueno. And then our newest sponsor into the lineup now is Stick It Gear. They make a magnetic rangefinder strap. It is brilliant. Once I received it and tried it, it has not left my bino harness. I use it religiously. Michael Sims is a huge fan of it as well. He's actually been using it for probably a year longer than I have. It's one of those things where he was just like, I'm going to keep this little piece of gear my secret, because he didn't share it with us. But it's now that I'm using it, he's really happy that I am. And so Stick It Gear is now sponsoring the podcast. 20% off the magnetic gear strap on their website. Again, it might be something like Be Limitless 20. I will have that advertised again in the future. And I want to say that we need to give them a shout out, all those companies, for sponsoring the show. There's no kickbacks to me. I talk about this every episode, but I receive nothing from those companies when you use those discount codes. They are purely for your benefit. So this podcast is ran out of my shallow pockets. All of those companies, they are there for you, and I'm really, really happy and excited to provide that for all of you, for listeners. So those are the sponsors for the podcast. We're going to get into the A3G. Again, this is an annual process. We are a 501c3.
We are.
We have 5 board members. 3 of them are here. We leverage the mental and physical benefits of archery and improving the quality of life of amputees.
Overcome obstacles.
That's right. Overcoming obstacles through archery. We put together high-end archery equipment and outdoor packages for amputees. We provide that package to them. We take them to the gas factory in Clay City, Kentucky.
Thanks, Eric.
What's that?
Said thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much, Eric Griggs.
And the whole gas team.
Whole gas team.
Absolutely. And we build their bow there with all the accessories required for that bow.
With the recipient.
With the recipient, hands-on work. They put custom gas bowstrings on the bow, and then they spend about a day and a half with the gas bowstring podium level archers providing one-on-one coaching to our recipient. When the recipient leaves gas, they go home with their bow, and they're provided with a target for morel, and wherever they can safely shoot around their home or their local community or their wilderness areas where they live, they can shoot and practice until they arrive here in Lampasas, Texas, where we host them on an all-inclusive lifetime whitetail adventure. Chris, this is like a game show. Chris, tell us about that all-inclusive whitetail.
Well, behind door number 3, Mrs. White, Vanna. So we fly them in here. We have a sponsor, Defiance Ranch Racing, that takes care of all the airfare, any baggage fees, parking fees at the airport. So we get them here. First stop is up at my range. Make sure the recipient's bow didn't get damaged in transit, make sure everything's good to go equipment-wise. Do some practice shots out of a blind, because that's what we're hunting out of here, is pop-up blinds for these archery hunts. Then we have a good evening of fellowship the first night. We have some of our local sponsors here to meet the recipient, and it's also as a thank you to our sponsors, most of which choose to remain anonymous, just because in the words of one of them today, I do it because I can.
That's right. Yeah.
So
It's pretty cool.
Our sponsors don't do this to beat their chest or sell product or get recognition. They do it because they believe in the mission, and they can. So we have a big dinner, and then we start the hunt. The 4J Ranch, I'm blessed to have access to, is a 2,300 acre private low fence ranch, about 12 miles as the crow flies from my ranch, and we go out there and we do some hard hunting, some good hunting, and we spend time in the blind. You really get to know somebody in the blind.
What else is included in this lifetime?
So also, besides the hunt package,
You're skipping a lot of details on the hunt package, Chris.
well, the hunt package, you said you weren't going through all the sponsors, but
It's not the sponsor. So the hunt package it's a 2,300 acre low fence private ranch that has a managed deer herd on it. The recipient is the first archery hunter to hunt on said ranch every season. I'm not talking about just archery season in general, but archery season kicks off the big game season here in Texas. So no gun hunters are hunting on the ranch, no muzzle loaders, nothing else. Our recipients are the very first hunters to put pressure on these managed deer on the ranch. They're provided one-on-one guide with said guide right there, Chris Dunlap, for the entire time that they're here on the ranch. Yeah. It's incredible.
Well, this ranch, so I think I understand, only does charity hunts.
That's correct.
yes,
There's no paid hunting on
No,
this
there's
ranch.
not.
we don't sell any hunts. We do.
Yeah.
This is the first hunt we do every year. Some of the other charity hunts the ranch does is we donate a hunt to the Friends of Wishes, which is the fundraising arm of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We've had the same 3 guys that have bought that hunt every year for the last 5-6 years, I think, and they'll be here Halloween weekend for this year's hunt. We've donated hunts to the Texas Game Warden Benevolent Fund, which it's done at one of their fundraising banquets. It raises money for the families of a game warden lost in the line of duty.
This ranch, you can't go online and book a hunt at this
No.
ranch. You can't. I mean, you could contact the ranch owner and offer him an exuberant amount of money to come on his ranch and
You
hunt
won't get
deer, and he would most likely say no. It is an honor and a privilege to have been invited to host our recipients on this ranch, and thank the Lord that we are the first hunters to be there. It's incredible. So that's the details of the ranch that I want to talk about.
The ranch owner's son, Andrew Joseph, he manages the ranch for the family.
Yep.
And I think this is either year 13 or 14 that we've been doing the Managed Lands Deer Program here in Texas. And he has done a phenomenal job managing the herd. We grow some very good quality trophy low fence deer that anybody could shoot and be proud of.
I've seen a lot that I'd be extremely proud of.
Yeah. It's also a working cattle ranch. So this isn't just a hunting ranch. It's a working cattle ranch. It's a family ranch, and when we're not hunting out there, we're working cows. We're celebrating the outdoors and having a good time. And I guess the other part of the hunt package is we're in it. The guest house here at my ranch that we donate, along with the event center that's next door, where we do all our meals and have our big sponsor dinner. So the recipient, it's all inclusive. It doesn't cost him a dime to come here, or her, if it's a her in the future.
We have a full shoulder mount that's associated with the hunt. We have
Meat processing.
all the meat processing
And shipping.
and shipping and all of that.
Yes.
All of it.
Yeah.
It truly is a lifetime whitetail, all-inclusive hunt.
And all the gear.
License and tags are
Yep.
paid for, and then Michael, that's correct. You take all the equipment. So Dustin already has his bow prepped for travel. So we're gonna pull mine over here.
Which is the same bow.
It's virtually the same bow. Yep. Hoyt is sponsoring the program this year. When I say program, the nonprofit, the Alpha X33 was provided to Dustin. They had him go on the website and choose his bow and build it to his preference. So he had whatever colors and camo combinations that he wanted on his bow. They provided him with the kickstand. They provided him with a stabilizer. HHA Sports donates a bow sight, and this year they've added the sight light to the package. So he has a industry leading sight and sight light. We have the Hamsky Epsilon is donated by Frontline Archery out of the Northeast, and they customize it. They put Be Limitless on it, and that is sent to the recipient. Again, gas bowstrings are put on the bow.
Hoyt donates a quiver.
Hoyt donated the quiver. We have Hot Shot provides the peep sight and the release every year, and then for arrows we have Kanadi arrows and Zinger fletches. They're owned by the same folks. They custom make a set of a dozen arrows for our recipients every year
With one stringer arrow wraps.
with custom one stringer arrow wraps on them. It's a
VIP.
it's a top of the line bow package, and then once we get to the hunt, either Frontline Archery or myself donates a package of VIP combat veteran broadheads to use while we're hunting here, and then when Dustin leaves, he's going home with three broadheads. So that's when our recipient arrives here. And then a myriad of other products are provided from some wonderful sponsors.
I do want to say thanks to Montana Knife. They joined us this year and threw in a great knife for Dustin.
Yeah, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole
Yeah.
of trying to throw out too many companies because we're going to forget companies. We don't have them written down, so I don't want to sit here and try to start naming out all these incredible companies that have been supporting us. But what we're driving to is when our recipient arrives here, they've been provided with a bow case to get their bow safely here. They've been provided with clothing. They have optics. It's hard not to throw out the sponsors.
As they say in the military, everything from soup to nuts.
Holy cow, yes. The value of our grant package now is well over $25,000. We only choose one recipient annually because we do have a lot of high-end products. We put in a lot of time and effort into making this something very unique and special. Gas hosts us at their facility, and to try to do that for multiple people every year. Most of us still have careers at some level, and we're working, and we have families and other obligations, and we truly try to make this young man this year, we tried to make him feel as important as we possibly could and give him all the time and energy that we could put together as this team, and we can't replicate that with 10 or 15
No,
other
it
people.
it takes us a year to
It
get
does.
here. It takes us a year to get here every year.
Yep, it does.
For one guy.
There's so many people in our camp, and friends and family.
I do want to, or unless you want to. I do want to thank my wife, my bride, and my mother, who lives here on the ranch with us as well, who puts up with the intrusion, who they cook for us until we got our new camp cook. You should have your apron on for this. But they put everything aside, and last night we came back from hunting late, and there was a fresh pot of homemade venison stew
Oh my gosh, that was so
and
good.
French bread sitting on the counter waiting for us.
And Michael Sims had made a sopapilla cheesecake. We ate the entire pan minus 3 small pieces.
Yes.
That was the second pan, by the way.
Yeah.
That was the second thing.
And we saved those.
Not one day though.
No,
Not one day.
in 2 days.
In 48 hours.
Yeah, 48
We
hours.
saved those 3 pieces as our small penance to the hostesses
Yes.
that helped us out. So we couldn't do this without them.
So
And you can have your husband back tomorrow, Mrs. Ritter.
this is so obviously it's Dustin's first time on the ranch, and we're going to give him a second to chat here in a minute. But Michael is the board member. He's the newest board member on the 501c3. This is his first time on the ranch. His second event in 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
What has your experience been?
Well, and I've been following A3G for 3 years. You know, I mean, you've been friends for 35 years, and it was always kind of hesitant to get on the board because you know how that friends things work, and finally when we talked, and I was like, you know what, I can't sit back anymore. I have to get involved because the things that the A3G does, and it has nothing to do with the equipment. It has nothing to do with the hunt. It has to do with the fellowship that this team gives to the recipient, and you just see things that actually change your life with this program. And I couldn't sit back and not be a part of that. I was feeling bad sitting on my couch at home and going, why am I not involved? Why am I not involved? But these things are life-changing, and if you can take one person's life and change it, you need to take every opportunity you have and to be able to do that, because you're not changing their lives, you're changing your own.
We take a lot of pride in the fact that there's a lot of organizations out there that they might host 10, 15, 20 individuals. I'm going to say individuals because there's nonprofits out there that are focused on a a certain age group, right?
Or a niche market.
Or a niche market, or veteran only, or it's for males only, or females only. I look across the board of outdoor nonprofit groups, and then narrow that down to hunting activities, and a lot of those are focused on pulling the trigger.
Okay.
That is, they advertise you're going to go home with meat in the cooler, and that's what they focus on. And we look beyond that. Obviously, we want to try to achieve that for our recipient, but the foundation is leveraging this tool right here sitting next to me, and benefiting their mental and physical health, and to learn to, this is not just a catchphrase for us, to overcome obstacles through archery. That's not just filling a tag. It's taking the time and the dedication in shooting 1 arrow a day, or practicing enough a week to become proficient with this item right here. And that whole process can shift into other aspects of their life. It gets people off of this thing right here and out that door over there into the fresh air of the beautiful world that God has created, and performing a healthy activity. And they can do it safely in a lot of different locations, not in a Sportsman's Warehouse parking lot, by the way. So that is the foundation of A3G and why we do it. Going to gas, we now have a partnership with gas where we are taking this recipient and providing them with a very intimate connection with this bow, because Dustin, and he's going to probably tell you about this in a minute, he was able to help Aaron Adams change out the string set and the cable set on his bow. He put on his own sight. He helped tune his rest, the whole piece of it, and that has now connected him to his own bow that a lot of archers never had the opportunity to do. They take their bow, they drop it off with a bow tech, and they come back 3 days later.
And see what they get.
It's been put on a hooter shooter, or the bow tech shoots it for them and says, yep, it's tuned, it's good, and then that archer goes home with a bow they know nothing about. It's almost like Cole Trickle in the Days of Thunder. He's like, what do you mean, what are the tires are doing? I just drive the car. Right? Well, Dustin now knows about those tires, right? Mm-hmm. So we do that.
Well, our focus, I think our focus is more on the education of archery and the benefits of it. And then, whether it's personal, whether it's physical, we focus on the education portion. And as far as the A3G initiative goes, we are all about quality, not quantity.
Yep. And that translates into the proper ethics of hunting.
And kind of back to gas, that whole thing, and the gist of the whole program. Braden Galentine said it at dinner in Clay City, Kentucky, in our Airbnb that night.
Just gonna say that.
We're building archers, not making memories.
That's right. Yeah, and that memory would be punching a tag. And so that's where I think we differ greatly from other hunting nonprofits. The focus isn't here about just killing an animal, because the number of animals that we could have put arrows in this weekend is endless.
Yep.
Any given
it's
night,
limitless.
It is a limitless amount of shot opportunities here, and Dustin's probably going to talk about that a little bit here, but that is what we do. And when Dustin leaves here tomorrow, and the rest of us shake hands and hug each other and slap backs and do all of that stuff that men do when they part ways and say goodbye, it's a friendship now. It's a connection, and we have made a memory through the foundation of archery, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's powerful.
Because we have an educated archer.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything else to add? I know there's far more depth to your experience since you've rolled down this blonde rock driveway a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
You don't get these opportunities to come onto these ranches and do this stuff and to see. If you're like me and you're a do-it-yourself hunter and you're a backcountry hunter and you go out there and you don't get to experience the interaction with animals like you do here.
Yeah.
And the first night I was out with Dustin and Chris and sitting, it was a night? Morning.
It was
Morning. Yeah. Sitting in the blind, running the camera, because I know nothing about cameras. I was running the camera.
He's a cook, not a videographer.
And when those 5 bucks came out, and absolutely every single one of them were a trophy of any experienced hunter, it was magnificent. It was just, holy crap, this is gonna happen. Like these.
You didn't say crap.
I didn't, but in my head.
Keeping it clean.
Yeah, keeping it clean. But just the interaction that you have with people in these circumstances. And Chris and Aaron and I are all prior military, and it's good to have our interaction. It's healthy for us too, and it's not just for Dustin; it's for all of us too. You coming here has brought us all together and made us better people, better humans. I can't wait for next year. I just can't wait for next year, and meeting the ranch owner, and meeting Andrew, and meeting all the sponsors, and seeing how grateful and humble those folks were. It's a testament to what the A3G Initiative is all about.
There's 2 places that I like to go to get healthy, outside of the connection and time that I have with my spouse. Mm-hmm. The backcountry and A3G events. When I go in the backcountry, it cleanses my soul. At whatever elevation that I get to when I leave the eastern shore and I get up into the mountains, and it might be 2,700 feet, it might be 3,700 feet, it might be 4,400 feet, or it might be 8,800 feet. I'm that much closer to my God, and I am away from society. I'm breathing fresh air. I am burdening my body in a manner in which man was created to do, and I'm cleansing my soul and my mind.
And you're out of service.
You are out of service. When I come to an A3G event, whether I'm meeting board members at an expo and we're promoting the A3G, whether it's like the ATA, and shaking hands and reconnecting with sponsors and people that are involved. And we have a litany of industry-leading archery and outdoor companies, and some of them have been with us for 3 years now. But it could be at one of those locations, the gas facility in Clay City, Kentucky, or when we come here, you're doing things and you're involving things that are far bigger than yourself. It heals your mind and your soul. And now with whatever it is your wife Joe's doing and putting those stickers on our bodies, it's healing our bodies now too. But I've been running around with the X39 on my elbows.
The LifeWave patch.
The LifeWave patch, the X39, Joe, I'm throwing you a plug right now. I've been wearing it on my elbow, and my tendonitis and bursitis is in 48 hours, it is healing and going away. So that's a little plug for Joe. But this isn't come and drink beer and kill camp. And we're offering you a trophy. We are creating a family.
It's more than a trophy.
Yeah, the trophy's not what you could potentially hang on your wall.
And Dustin is departing here knowing that today, this man, bilateral lower limb amputee, stood at the 35-yard line after a rough day of hunting last night, I'm going to say.
And not having shot past 30 yards.
And not having shot past 30 yards standing. He shot at 20 yards standing. He walked out to 35 yards, picked up his bow, standing on his own 2 legs, full draw, proper anchor.
Center punched it.
Center punched the target, gap shooting at 35 yards.
Yeah.
It is so powerful to watch.
So that's coming from a point a year ago when the compound bow for him was not an option.
Not even a year ago.
Or however long ago.
Gas was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the process of getting into a compound bow was prior to that.
I called him on like April 17th.
Yeah. And compound bow for Dustin was a no-go.
It was out of option.
Yeah.
I put it in the back of my head and didn't think I could do it.
So Dustin, what's been your experience?
Oh man, there's so much. Just
Well, you're pretty sneaky in the airport.
yeah.
I will say that.
I found my way around all right. I just started pushing buttons.
Oh, you did.
It's 2 years in a row. He's been duped. waiting to get video of the recipient arriving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was entertaining. I heard
Sneaky,
you guys were like, wait a minute, what? Who's that? I don't know. If you go back and see the episode where I was on at Gas, I think we talked about like that experience. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about this more than.
Well, that's why we're here.
I mean, I came down here being told like you are going to get the opportunities to get a very nice trophy animal, but you're also going to get the opportunity to spend more time shooting, talk about more than just archery, honestly. I mean, and I know that when I go home tomorrow, I've got more than just people that are talking to me because of archery. Like, I've been able to like share stuff that anything I can talk to these guys about.
Absolutely.
And I think from this weekend, it went from being, okay, I'm here, it is game time. I mean, of course, we had our game time. But as the weekend went on, after that first morning, and having a lot of fun that morning, it really, it became to the point where I was like, even if I don't pick up my bow at the hunt, I'm still having a whole bunch of fun sitting here.
Was there learning?
Oh, there was a lot of learning.
What did so? Oh, yeah.
So,
On and off the field,
yeah.
there's been some
Yeah,
learning.
there's
That's more.
All right, remember we're keeping it clean.
Yeah, like as they mentioned, you mentioned a little bit ago, I sent an arrow downrange earlier at 35 yards and hit it. But yesterday, unfortunately, something that obviously I'm not experienced enough to recognize what it was or
It's called
whatever.
hair.
Yeah,
hair.
Buck fever.
you can say that, but I'm
It's called
talking
hair.
there was something in my shot that I didn't see, didn't know, and even though it felt right, that unfortunately prevented me from harvesting an animal this weekend. But at that point it was like, wow, I do have work to do. But coming from never thinking I was going to bow hunt to actually sitting in a deer blind with a bow, even the arrows that I sent yesterday, even though I'm just absolutely devastated that it didn't come out right, I still sent an arrow yesterday.
How many times in your hunting life have you been that close to so many different deer?
None.
How long was that one doe yesterday evening? She was maybe 7 yards from the front right corner of the blind for an hour.
Oh, it was more than an hour.
Yeah.
Like
When the sunlight hits their face, you can see the teeny tiny whiskers on their chin.
yeah, like
Isn't that fun?
it was almost like we were trying to can we peek our heads out to actually look at her and she won't run? And there was actually a couple times where we had a moment uh-oh, are we gonna scare her off? And she just went, huh?
Yeah.
And just kept chewing and
Just sitting there crunching corn.
and then a fawn came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was still there when we got
And
out.
still looked at, yeah.
So I only hunted with you the first morning, and we didn't have a lot of deer coming that morning.
No.
For the rest of your hunts, were they vocal?
No, not really. We didn't have any. We had I think one hunt we had. There was 2 small bucks that wanted to try to push each other around a little
We had
bit,
a couple
but
of does last night.
and, you know,
Got up on the back legs.
he got to watch his first doe fight,
Yeah.
Okay.
which
That's
is always
hilarious, isn't it?
yeah,
Yes,
it's
They
always
pin
fun.
their ears all back,
Yeah.
No, they were up on their hind legs,
They
swatting at each
were
other.
actually full on.
but their ears weren't pinned back.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
So it dawned on me, watching all the does from the creek where I was hunting. Remember when they started releasing the new Star Wars movies a couple of years back? You know, like the first 3 episodes came out, and that one droid that they have that has the long face on it.
I've never watched Star Wars.
Yeah,
so I can't tell you.
That when a mature doe pins her ears back,
Extends their nose.
and
Looks like
their
nose
their
extends.
snouts are so long, it looks like that silly droid from the first
Oh
3
my
Star
goodness.
Wars movies. It's hilarious.
But you know that it does every second and every minute you were in that blind and you were watching and eyeballing, which is interacting with those animals. Every second of that you were learning. You were learning something. It was just a constant barrage of information that you didn't have before.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
all my hunting experience was from either with a friend and I was just there, or you saw the deer from a long way away, and that's just how it was because it was for a rifle.
You
or
learned that
something.
you should wear an all black top in the blind,
I learned that my face definitely glows.
like a light bulb.
Like a light bulb.
Yeah.
That picture is pretty funny.
Yep, you may as well just hold up a white paper plate on a
You
on
look
a
like
popsicle
you look
stick.
like Jason at nighttime standing next to a tree.
I honestly look like one of those kid plates with like the faces on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's what I look like because
Yep.
like everything else was invisible.
Black out your face.
Yep.
When you hold your bow out in front of you to draw, it shines like a diamond.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like timing your draw, like putting your bow up on your knee, and then you have to time your draw to where they're looking away or looking down, and if you don't time it right, mid-draw they could look up, and that's the end of it.
Well, and you bow hunting in general, when you're that close to whatever animal you're after, the more you do it and the more you observe, the more you learn about animal behavior their behavior in general, and it makes you a better hunter for the next hunt, because now you can see, when they do this, that's going to lead to that. Mm-hmm. You kind of learn how to read your game animals.
Well, it becomes personal, right? Mm-hmm. Bow hunting is personal. You're not shooting an animal at 100 yards that has no idea you're there.
No.
Most of the time, by the time you get through your draw cycle, excuse me, I got the hiccups. By the time you get through your draw cycle, a lot of times the animal's going to know you're there. They're going to see a draw or see the end of your draw, and it's personal.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as you release, they hear it. It's not like a rifle, like you said. You're almost 100. It could be almost 100 yards or more out, and they don't hear it because it's already done. It's just been a whole learning experience of how to be a better hunter, some
Respecting the animals.
Respecting the animals, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, it was just a lot of fun to watch and see and be outside. I mean, I have never seen that many deer before. I'm in a place I've never been before. I mean,
Around people you don't know.
around people I
You really don't know.
There was a lot of people I didn't know.
Yeah.
I got to meet.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
mean,
those folks, our sponsors, it was really nice. It was really cool to see when I was standing behind the counter and putting some stuff together for dinner, and you were out interacting
When
with
you're cooking.
how genuine.
He was chefing.
I was
chefing. That's a big
How genuinely
How genuine?
genuinely they were when they were speaking with it. They were absolutely interested in your story. They wanted to. Every one of them wanted to hear your story, and that's why they're here. Because that's why they donate their time, their money, their ranch, their product, whatever it was, and don't want the credit because their self-satisfaction with seeing the opportunity that you have here was plenty for them.
There was no. All of them. I could see it all in there. They wanted no recognition whatsoever. Honestly, like, I felt like I've known them forever, just because they just were normal people. They were just wanting to do something good.
And every one of our local sponsors has been texting me all weekend wanting updates.
Yeah.
So it's not like they donated this. Sorry, I've done my good deed for the month or the year and move on. And they're invested.
And some of them even were helping.
Yeah, and that's powerful.
It is, Chris. It is powerful. That's the one word that describes the A3G Initiative. It's powerful. Yeah.
Powerful beyond the obstacles.
Absolutely love it here.
I'll just say it's life-changing.
I'm very happy to hear that.
I'm just going to say it straight up. I went from a phone call with you in April to having a conversation of why I wasn't shooting a compound bow, and you promised me that phone call, it will happen. You just got to do it. Well, fast forward, here I am, and
You did it.
I won't go where I had the experience at, but like I said, I had a bad experience. Didn't have the proper knowledge, like education, like you guys were talking about. That's a big deal with this. I mean, is the education. And now I'm leaving here knowing when I go home I can put that release on and start sending arrows, and that's that.
And it's your therapy.
Yeah.
You can use that as your therapy.
I've had a lot of times where I've gotten home, like since gas, and went outside and started shooting.
What do I tell you when you call and vent to me about having a bad day and you get all down in the dumps and sad? What do I tell you? Man, shut up and go shoot your bow.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
But it happens.
It does happen.
Go shoot your bow. It's therapeutic because you can, to shoot a bow accurately, you have to clear your mind.
It's gotta be in the right state.
You can't shoot a bow with all that spinning up there.
Yeah.
You have to slow it down and clear your mind, and you can put all that baggage aside for a little bit and shoot your bow. And then when you're done, you have a different perspective.
Well, and there's no benefit for this initiative to do all this and to not educate you.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to that. Not for you, not for us, not for the grant, not for the sponsors, not for the local sponsors. There's no benefit if all we do is just put you in front of a deer and let you shoot it.
Give you a bunch of free stuff.
And give you a bunch of free stuff.
Well, if you don't know how to apply what you're getting, then that's a problem.
All that does, in my opinion, is cause somebody to want to go somewhere else and get a bunch of free stuff.
Yeah.
And then
it
go
happens.
somewhere else and get a bunch of free stuff. There's no real connection to it.
No.
After all this, it's like I know I can be independent with obviously life things, but hunting especially. Like I know after this that I can be independent with it. And I learned how to do that this weekend.
And you and I talked about that. There's other things going on in the background behind A3G that is going to put you in a position to make some other alterations in your life to where you will be able to independently go out and hunt on public ground.
Well, and that's the other thing. We're not, and I won't go into the details, but when we were in Kentucky, you shared with us some things that had nothing to do with archery, just life in general. Mm-hmm. And some of us have lived a few years longer than you, and most of us, I'd say all three of us, have learned things the hard way, and can share some life lessons that we learned the hard way to hopefully keep you from learning them the hard way. And it's not just about here's some free crap, here's a deer you get to shoot, pat you on the butt and send you home. We're not just punching tag and making a memory of a hunt. We're trying to help you overcome other obstacles besides just not knowing if you can hunt with a bow.
Yep. Do you have a favorite part?
Soap and peanut cheesecake.
That's okay. I like that one.
You guys are right close to my heart.
A favorite part from this weekend or just the whole thing?
From this weekend.
From this weekend. Man, that's a difficult part.
I know it's tough.
My favorite part was last night, honestly. Like, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of joy, because all that work did come true. Honestly, all that work I did happen. I followed, did everything I needed. But when we got back, my favorite moment was realizing, even if I don't get this deer recovered or so on so forth, it's when I get home, I have a whole new thing, another season I can do. Realizing that this whole thing, even though I already knew it in the back of my mind, was definitely not just about shooting the bow. It was, now I can competition shoot if I want to, or hunt in different places like I want to. I've had all these dreams, but last night was kind of that realization. It kind of came together to that.
It's possible.
It's possible. Mm-hmm. Like, it was it the outcome I wanted last night or this morning? No. Every hunter, no. But
you have a bow and the ability to shoot it accurately. You have a backpack that you can attach your bow to. You have trekking poles that can help give you stability walking through the woods or down a trail.
You have a jet sled to drag your deer out.
You have a Chappelle jet sled with a wheel system on it.
That you can hook to your trike.
yeah.
Or you could just you can put that cord around your waist and you can just pull it.
Yep.
You have tools to go out and field dress an animal. You can go out independently on your own on public grounds. You can get a couple hundred yards away from the trailhead, and you can set yourself up, and you can harvest a legal deer that comes through.
Yeah.
You can go trap it. You can recover it. You can get it in your jet sled, and you can, however long it takes you, you can get it back to your vehicle. You have gained a whole new world of independence that you did not have back in April. And you have a whole team built around you that you can get on the phone with, and we'll answer questions.
Yep.
We'll communicate with you. We'll chat with you.
Yeah, make sure you call when you do the field dress, please.
Yeah.
Well,
Call us.
Yeah, and throughout this whole time since April, when we did the announcement, it's not just we gave you this gear. We said, all right, be here at this time. You've had all of our numbers, constant communication, text messages, phone calls. It's a very personable experience
For all of us.
Yeah, for all of us.
Yep.
Yeah, and if my wife and his wife added up all the hours we spend on the phone talking about this stuff, it
You
would
get put in timeout.
Yeah, that's why I get the text. Had fun with my husband this week, but I want him back.
Yeah.
Well, and with that being said, there's nothing easy about putting all this together.
No.
Right? It takes a lot of work. We need funding. We really need some corporate donation.
Yeah.
We need people to spread the word. We need. I've said this on several podcasts. We have enough stuff to give to make somebody successful. We have all the gear they need. Not that we would turn down more stuff, but we have enough stuff to make somebody successful. What we really need is people to share the mission of the grant, to share when the application season is open, so we can get more applicants. We have a deeper pool to pull from, and then also, like you said, we need corporate sponsors to help with funding.
Yeah.
That's
And-
what's going to keep this going.
Yeah.
It is. We're want to remind everybody, we are veteran founded, we are veteran operated, we are not veteran required. So Dustin serves his community. Dustin is a volunteer firefighter. Dustin is a substitute teacher. Those are two critical career fields that keeps our nation, the foundation of our nation, moving forward. Veterans serve their nation in a different capacity. Dustin serves his community. The A3G Initiative is open to any amputee, 18 years or older, in the lower 48, veteran or not.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. Male, female,
And
Doesn't matter.
if we can get enough corporate sponsors, we can open it up to all 50 states.
and that is the reason why it's only the lower 48. We do not have the financial capability to travel a recipient from Hawaii or Alaska, Puerto Rico or Guam. I mean, we don't have the funding to do that, and we're not able to ship all of their stuff to them. So we have to restrict it right now to the lower 48 because we don't have the funding to go beyond.
And we don't want to. We want to include all 50.
Would love to.
Yes.
Would love to.
Yeah.
But my pockets are strained, and you gentlemen are starting to pitch in, and we're working within our financial limitations. We'd love to see that grow.
Yeah.
We would love
Absolutely.
to see that grow.
Yep.
There are other amputees in those places that probably see this, but they know they can't. And that is,
Well, they
I know that.
either need to move or they need to
Yeah.
get people to corporate sponsors to
help
donate.
Yeah. But I know that bothers you guys, that there are
Yeah.
probably people,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
and I don't see why others shouldn't be bothered by there not being an opportunity for those people.
Appreciate that.
I really, that actually does bother me because I know so many are in those areas and they don't have the access to some of the stuff that we, I'll be honest, the lower 48 has a lot of stuff, a lot of accessibility stuff, but when you get to those other places that you guys can't do right now, those people, some of those people just don't have that. It's not the same care for prosthetic. It's not the same those. I mean, it takes forever for that stuff to happen.
We're trying to get there.
It'll happen.
We're trying to get there.
It'll just take time and people's help.
Do you gentlemen have a favorite from this weekend?
There's a I felt that just a minute ago.
Because I only spent the one morning with Dustin in the blind. I think my favorite, and I hate to say this because it should be here, but my favorite was interacting with the ranch manager.
That's Michael. That's perfectly okay, man.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with Andrew. Andrew took me out and we did some, because he takes care of the herd, we did some culling of the herd.
2 peas in a pod.
And his knowledge about this ranch and how to manage these deer and manage his predator. He's a trapper, a professional trapper, and he traps for a lot of the local, a lot of these local ranches. But he is such a huge ball of information, and he loves to talk. And I just do proverbial head nod because I'm like you. When I was with Andrew, I was exactly like you. I am just trying to absorb all that information because we don't have access. Regular people like us don't have access to those people.
And again, this goes back to the quality of our sponsors, especially locally. So what Andrew and his dad provide us, without the 4J, we would not be doing this, at least not here, right?
Sure.
And on one of our social media posts today, Andrew responds saying, "I love what you all do." And my response to him was, "Andrew, you are a part of that you all." Yeah. So that even though they're providing a key function of this hunt, they still look at it as that they're just outside the program, like giving something to us, even though they are directly responsible for our success.
His hard work, their hard work,
yeah.
And his dad has provided these. I have never seen the quality of deer that I've saw on this ranch, other than in videos. When 140 and 150 class 10-point steps out, I'm losing my cookies.
Low fence.
Low fence.
Low fence. Yeah.
Low fence.
It's incredible. Yeah.
So anyway,
that's your favorite part.
That was my favorite part, and I think the other favorite part also is the chats that we were talking about after we get back from the hunt and what you experienced and what you thought you did right, what you thought you did wrong, and just the Q&A. Figuring out, okay, we need to change this. Hey, you're not going to the blind. Hey, it's only going to be you two. You two stay out. So we're learning too, right? Mm-hmm. So this is year 3, and every year, and this is my
year
first
2 of the hunt.
And year 2 of the hunt, and we're learning too. We're learning what works and what doesn't work, and we learned a huge lesson this year.
If we're not learning and improving, we're doing it wrong.
We're dying.
You always improve your position.
Absolutely. You always improve your foxhole.
That's right.
What's your favorite part? The most recent social media post.
Like I said, that was good. I salute you.
Cheers to military bearing.
That's right.
Yeah, and knowing where it is.
That's right.
It's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just
go
look at it.
It's not on Instagram. He's still looking for it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he thought it was in that deer blind.
Look at me.
No.
Look at Instagram, look at the A3G Initiative Facebook page, and just look for...
Look for me on my hands and knees with some weird music.
Searching for his military burial. It wasn't at Fort Benning some years ago. It's somewhere in the live oak leaves and a ground blind on the 4J ranch.
As I was crawling back from turning the camera back on to get him his required video footage from inside the boat. No, my favorite part of this weekend is I don't have a favorite part. It's
all my favorite. It's all good.
And Tara, my favorite part is picking your husband up at the airport when he shows up, because I know it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a good weekend, no matter what we're doing.
Am I still being that new?
I don't know your.
Am I
your
still
spouse.
that new?
You are.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. You're gonna go back into your dependent lifestyle and with your military spouse. So no, my favorite. I love this weekend. You know, I got on several ranches, and some of them I get paid for. You know, obviously I don't get monetarily paid for this one. It probably costs me more money than it should, but I'm glad to donate it. But no, my favorite part of the weekend is picking him up at the airport, because I know the rest of the weekend is going to be great.
Yeah, it's like light and time views.
Like light time views.
So my favorite part of this weekend is it's a mix of kind of everything that you guys have chatted about. When Dustin got here, I prepped him, letting him know that this weekend was going to be it's a roller coaster ride. Yeah. There's moments of there's early mornings, there's time hacks that we have to meet. There's the alarms have to go off, have to get out of bed, you have to get ready, you have to be in the truck when at the predetermined time that we've set.
Whether you've eaten or not.
Yep, you have to have your gear ready, and then we have to get in the blinds, and then you have to hunt properly, and then when we get home, there's going to be a lull, and you can go shoot your bow, you can have lunch, you can take a nap, grab a shower, you socialize. It's constant ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And through all of that, our interactions rise and fall with those events that are taking place. And I've got to laugh when we were standing in the barnyard in the dark last night. And it was one of the heightened points of this time together. And, we're people are pinging off of each other. And Andrew was standing there just watching all of it. It's just like, it's just amazing watching how you guys interact and communicate with each other without getting into a fist fight. He was like, it's nuts, yeah. Right? And
control chaos.
That is exactly it, Chris. That is what I love about this. And I love it because by the time we get our recipient here, it's a cooking term, they fold right into that mix, and we become one unit, and we go accomplish things.
And come along for the ride.
Yeah. It's
a ride.
I absolutely love it.
Because we're passionate.
Yep.
We're passionate about what we do, we're passionate about how we do it, and we're passionate about making sure that everybody, especially the recipient, has the best time possible with the most amount of education that we can shove down your throat. I mean, fire hose this big, mouth open, you're getting it all.
That's what I like.
Yeah. Yep.
The fellowship.
I would like to say that I've always been around a lot longer than you. 1776, 1812, I mean.
Yeah, but the Army didn't win the War of 1812.
So Dustin, what was your perspective about us as far as?
Well, sometimes you shouldn't ask questions.
Well, no, I mean, because
he doesn't have a
hang on. because you say you like the interaction that we have all together, and then you bring the recipient in. How was that react? I mean, did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah.
It wasn't too much.
No.
Well, he hangs around a firehouse.
Yes, I'm in a firehouse. Okay.
I got you. Good.
Like,
Yeah.
We could be a bit much sometimes.
Yes, Aaron can.
Bub.
Bub.
Oh, well, guys, we've been going at it for about an hour.
Yep.
What do you think?
we can talk a lot.
We can?
Yes, Aaron can. That's my wife.
Are we going to talk at all about what happened yesterday?
Do we need to?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely educational.
Well,
Good, bad, or indifferent.
that's going to extend this probably into an hour and a half podcast.
Okay. Cool beans.
We've,
I think I had on it. There was some disappointments.
Yep.
But there was good out of those disappointments. So
Life's full of them.
yep.
yeah.
I'm going to throw out another thing that I really, really liked. When I say we, I mean the A3G Initiative as a whole, has cultivated some incredible friendships and partnerships. And to get a phone call from Eric Griggs at Gas, wanting to know how the weekend's going, how the recipient's doing, and what successes we've accomplished. And not only that, but when Eric finds out what's going on here, all right, I have a solution. I can help add to that. I can help contribute to continuing that education and level of experience. I want to help. I'm vested. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, just incredible human beings wanting to leave this world in a better state than when they came into it.
Tara's gonna make you quit answering the phone. Because answering the phone on New Year's Eve is what led to this.
That's right, yeah. But that's one of those other things. The number of friends and folks that support this initiative that have texted me personally all weekend long, wanting updates to know what's going on. People that have called me wanting to know what's going on with Dustin, from it being my wife, to personal friends, to people like Eric Griggs that own big companies within the archery community, wanting to know what's going on with our recipient. That's another aspect of one of my favorite parts. That's because those people know that we're doing something right. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yep. All right. Well, Dustin, do you want to say anything else before we close this out?
Yeah, be limitless.
There we go. Thank you, Dustin. Would either of you like to say anything else?
I think the only thing I would like to say is if you're out there, whether you're an amputee or you're not, if you know somebody who could, if you yourself, or if you know somebody who could benefit from this, or you have a platform where you could share our application and how the A3G initiative works, please put that out there. We really would love to have more recipients,
Yes.
the bigger pool to pick from.
And you don't have to be an amputee to apply. You have to be an amputee to come, but you can nominate somebody. There's a lot of people who are too shy, humble, whatever you want to call it, to put themselves in for it.
Think that they can't do it.
Think they can't do it. So if you know somebody that is in that boat, but you think they can, if you believe in them, you can nominate them. And we welcome as many applications as we can. And I am just so grateful that we now have a camp cook on the board right here.
Love you, buddy.
So January
Bub.
1st, January 1st, 2025,
Yep.
the application period for the A3G Initiative will open.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are an amputee, 18 years or older in the lower 48, you can apply. If you are not an amputee, but you know somebody that might qualify and would benefit from this opportunity, you can submit on their behalf. The application period closes April 15th,
Same day you gotta pay the man.
and we will announce
Shortly after.
the individual that we have selected to be our recipient for 2025. Dustin, is it worth their effort to fill out that simple form?
Hands down.
And
All right.
again, you'll be here. You, I'm looking at you.
Next October?
No. April.
Maybe, we don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know that yet.
But we'll do the announcement on Facebook.
A3Ginitiative.org.
Mm-hmm.
A3Ginitiative.org, January 1st. The applications, the link to it will be available. It will also be available in our link tree on
Facebook.
A3G Initiative on Instagram, and we will also have it pinned to the top of our page on Facebook.
Yeah.
In the meantime, thank you for listening in to the Limitless podcast. Again, if you're interested in great listener discounts on any of those 7 show sponsors, listen to previous episodes because those discount codes are there, except for the Stick It Gear discount. It's BLimitless20, and you'll hear it again in future episodes. But again, thanks for listening in, and
then support our sponsors.
it would be awesome.
Yeah, give back to those that give to the community.
I agree. Thanks, Chris. You're 100% correct. All right, guys. With that said, be limitless.